Hi, and welcome back to This Toxic Fandom, where we're going to ramble for like 25 minutes about the newest episode of UK versus the World, Series 3, Episode 6, Drag Race Fringe Festival?
Yeah.
Because all the challenges all the episodes have really just like generic names now. Anyway, say hi, Toxic Fan.
Hello.
Introduce yourself, Toxic Fan.
Hi, I'm David, and I got a good fringe.
And I'm Jolie, and I'm just impressed that they had a lady named Lucy Punch and this many fisting jokes into the same episode.
Truly.
What does that mirror say, David?
I love you, queens. Viva Mexico.
Fontana calling out that the only Naomi doesn't want to be in the finale. Aggressive.
Yeah. I mean, I think, was it Kate who was like, she's just, this is a desperate woman grasping at straws.
Yeah. And I think there is some desperation in what Fontana is doing. But she's also like, I want to be here. I want to be here and I want to be doing well. And it does suck for someone to walk into the competition and be like, I'm probably going, I don't care about making it to the finale. I just want to blah, 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 get through 1 week.
I mean, that's what, I understand that, but also if you can't, here's the thing. She said that like week 2.
Yeah.
And a part of me goes, if you say that week 2, that's
fear.
That's fear, and that's a safety mechanism. If you say that week 6, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Reasonably, week 2, she had to lip sync.
Yeah.
Like, week 2, she did poorly.
Yeah.
She almost was the pork chop. But RuPaul hates Canada more than he hates Germany.
Facts. But anyways, Serena's very missed. Fontana is very pressed that she was passed over twice by the Chippy Tea.
She has never has she received the Chippy Tea?
I thought she did receive the Chippy Tea once.
Because Gawdland didn't give her the Chippy Tea.
No.
And then she didn't get the Chippy Tea now.
But I feel like there was a third time that she was in the bottom that she did get the Chippy Tea.
I have no idea. I'm trying to remember if she ever has gotten it.
Yeah.
Because I don't really remember her getting it. But they walk in the next day and they learn that this week's Maxi Challenge is going to be doing comedy shows for the Drag Race Fringe Festival. But it's going to be double acts.
Ooh.
Velma Kelly, eat your heart out.
Yes. Anyways, they are performing in pairs. They don't get to pick their pairs.
Their pairs are chosen by the way they're standing with each other.
Oh.
And production is like, motherfucker, why couldn't we have forced Naomi and Fontana to stand next to each other?
Yeah. But anyways, the pairs are Kate and Fontana, Mariah and Gawdland, and Zahira and Naomi.
And everyone is jealous of Fontana because she got the one funny person left in the room.
Exactly.
Gawdland is like, I'm hilarious, but in a way that is just me being funny. And if we try to write too much, I'm not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Which I think is really good self-awareness. I think that Mariah was almost trying to do what Alyssa and Alaska did in All Stars 2, where Alyssa went off the rails and then Alaska would bring them back. But Alaska did that by doing 1 to 5 word punchlines that punctuated what Alyssa was doing and made her look good, versus Mariah kind of overwrites it to give herself things to do, and then Gawdland just kind of runs around every time she stops speaking in a way that makes it very difficult.
One thing that I will also say that they talk about is that they want them to have a sparkling comedy duo. So the creativity is very important, but so is the relationship dynamic.
Yeah, they have to. It is about the two of them. Honestly, it's insane that this episode wasn't judged in pairs.
Yeah. I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't.
Yeah, when they announced it wasn't, I was like, well, that's shitty.
Yeah, it was very unfair.
I was like, oh, you guys really want to save Naomi.
Yeah.
Because it was crazy. We get into a coaching session with...
I wrote down Jade Adams.
Do you know who that is?
I don't, but apparently she's been to the Fringe Festival multiple times. Also, Mariah got to pick the pairs because she won last week. And it's
she got to pick the order.
The order,
Yeah, Mariah gets to choose the order.
Yes.
And Zahira and Naomi are like, we'll go first. And I was like, you sure about that? And I understand the impulse. I understand being like, I want to go early because I want to
get it over with. Yeah.
Which I think is smart, even if it's crazy.
Yeah. So anyways, the order is Zahira and Naomi.
Followed by Mariah and Gawdland. And then Kate and Fontana are going to closing the show.
Yeah. So anyways, Jade Adams is doing the coaching. She is a comedian. She has done the Fringe Festival multiple times. Fontana wants to make a joke about her vomit and her vomit-inducing anxiety.
I don't find the bucket as funny as RuPaul does,
Yeah.
and so I wasn't sure why they needed a bucket, but honestly, they were noted for not having enough bucket humor, so maybe the bucket's funnier in person.
Yeah.
I forget about the bucket when it's not being directly
Same.
mentioned.
But basically they figure out that the way that their act is going to work is sort of the like UK versus Sweden. So Gravy versus ABBA, the two genders.
Yeah. Next, we have Zahira and Naomi, and their whole shtick is that
Racism.
their whole shtick is that they forgot to write their jokes.
Yeah.
So they have to come up with the idea is that they're going to walk off to the side and do dad jokes and then walk back to the center and try things out.
Yeah.
Which could be really funny if you have really good material
Yes.
around the dad jokes.
You have to be super tight.
They unfortunately don't. But also, one of the only jokes they say out loud is, let's just say, wrong on so many levels.
Yes.
It's one of those things where there's a Wong joke that Naomi makes, and the person who's running the thing is like, I think because of your identities you can get away with that. It's like, maybe
No.
Zahira could have gotten away with it. But I don't think that Naomi should have been the one saying it. But then when she says it in the actual challenge, she messes up the line, and so it doesn't have a punchline to it. It's just randomly offensive.
Yeah, it was not a good idea. Like, it was one of those moments where I feel like the coach probably was like, well, that's the funniest joke that you've said, even if it's kind of offensive. At least you have one laugh.
Yeah. And then we have Mariah and Gawdland, and you can even see Mariah's helping Gawdland write her jokes in the moment.
Yes.
Like, she's smart about these things. Mariah's trying her best. The real problem with Mariah is that she forgets to uplift herself and make herself funny.
Yeah.
Because she's so focused on making sure that Gawdland is funny. And the coach being like, well, this is funny, isn't noting her to get funnier because she hasn't really thought about the fact that it's a competition. She's thinking about what makes a good comedy duo.
Yeah.
And Mariah is being a good comedy partner by letting Gawdland shine.
Yeah. Anyways, we get into them getting ready for what will eventually be the Cringe Festival. And they have Chippy Tea Talk, who's gotten it, who's in trouble due to the challenge, who's already lobbying for the Chippy Tea.
Only to learn that there are no Chippy Teas.
Exactly.
But before we get to that, RuPaul has an outfit.
And she's giving, a candy wrapper realness. And our guest judge is Lucy Punch.
I love Lucy Punch.
She's a great actress. She's very much known for Bad Teacher, Ella Enchanted, Into the Woods, and the series of A series of unfortunate events. Yes?
David, she's known for being the ugly stepsister in at least 2 properties. It's like her big thing is being the evil stepsister.
Yeah, as I said.
I know. I feel like you're underselling Lucy Punch. Anyway, first up on the Fringe Festival is Naomi and Zahira. And it's almost there.
Yeah.
If this was tighter and better, it would have been good. If it was good, it would have been good. But it's not good, so it's unfortunately bad.
Yes. They make a fisting joke, and RuPaul looks extremely confused.
This is the first ever accident in fisting that RuPaul's ever heard of.
No joke wrote that down.
It is a little uncomfortable. The biggest thing is they make a whole thing about how their cards are blank because they don't have any material.
Mm-hmm.
And then Zahira and Naomi both have to read all of their jokes off of their cards anyway.
Yeah.
So, no, the cards aren't blank. They also keep going over to a box that says material on it to pitch jokes at each other.
Yeah.
And then come back. And then, so I was like, oh, that's there because that's their material space.
Exactly.
But no, they didn't notice that box was
Said
the
material
box of
on
their
it.
material. So they were just walking over to a random box that we knew what it was the whole time.
Yeah.
And then they grab it, and the only thing in the box is a racist joke.
Exactly.
It's
not good.
It's not a good week for either of them. Honestly, Naomi gets too nice of notes for this. I think they just were ready to send Zahira home, and they
Yeah.
knew that Naomi could not do that. We then get into Mariah and Gawdland. Oh, we forgot about the weirdest thing about Mariah in the coaching session,
Yes.
which is she makes a whole thing of hallelujah.
Oh, I totally missed that.
She has a whole hallelujah bit, and I'm like, babe, one, we don't really talk about Shangela anymore, but two, that's not your joke.
No.
Why are you talking about it? But it's not in the finished product. The finished product, the end is the smart part.
Yes.
The end where she's teaching Gawdland to be maybe shady and mercenary and maybe like do things that would not bode well for her in the future. Like, it would be really funny. She's like, I'm going to adopt you as my drag daughter. And she's teaching her all the wrong things.
Yeah.
Because she's trying to sabotage the competition.
Yeah.
But in the end, she teaches Gawdland the most important lesson, which is throw your sisters under the bus.
Yes.
Honestly, some people don't like that. Some people voted for Regina George because she got thrown under a bus. And some people voted for Katie Heron because they think she threw her.
What I will say that's actually kind of funny is that there's like the whole thing was kind of like, I mean, it was trying to be a typical straight man, kooky person bit, but it was also funny because like one thing that I remember is that I had two cousins who, when they were very young, if they learned a phrase, it all of a sudden became like everything. So when it was like throw her under the bus, it reminded me of that. Like, because I remember that like at one point they thought that like kiss on the lips was the funniest thing in the world. So they'd be like, did they kiss on the lips?
Which lips?
Ooh.
No, it's just, it's not great.
Yeah.
It's not, Mariah simply talks too much.
Yes. And it's not funny.
And it's not funny enough. She just needed to have quicker things and let Gawdland go. I also think
there probably should have been a flip at some point.
I just think Gawdland couldn't have done it. I think
No,
the
I
actual
agree.
issue is that Gawdland, you needed to use Gawdland really specifically. And Mariah later talks about how she essentially was alone on her team because Gawdland was not helping enough.
The other thing that I will say is that I love Gawdland, but she is a sugared up toddler.
Yeah.
Like, she really is. Like, even like at the beginning of the episode.
Kate literally walks in and she's like, don't you feel bad for Mariah having to work with that 5-year-old?
Yeah. And like, and it's true, just because like at one point, like, Gawdland has half of her like ugly witch makeup on and she's looking in the mirror and going, who's a pretty girl? Who's a pretty girl?
Okay, I don't know why that's sugared up toddler behavior. I've definitely... Are you telling me you've never been a half witch looking at a mirror going, who's a pretty girl?
No, because I'm always a full witch.
I wasn't going to say anything, but you and Gawdland looked really similar last week.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anyway, next up we have the best pair, which is Kate and Fontana.
Yes.
This is brilliant.
They made it work.
So funny. There are several jokes that are just typical Tumblr jokes. Like, we forage the world for spices just to not refuse to use any of them.
Yeah.
But there's also some, like, very fun stuff. I liked They play off each other well. Obviously, the best bit is the
food moment.
Barbecue.
Yeah.
Like, all that work.
Feijoada.
Like, and
sausage.
It is literally how good Kate's delivery is on the reverse.
Yeah. And
how strong, like, without both sides operating at the level they're operating on, it wouldn't really work. So it's great. I loved I loved if I could use a little more screws, and then being like when I get this furniture, I don't have enough screws. I'm like,
exactly.
It's fun. It works. They bring out the bucket. The bucket hampers everything.
Yeah.
They knew they needed to bring out the bucket, so they did. But you can tell they don't have anything to say about the bucket because it's not that interesting.
I mean, the one thing that I did think was funny is that when she stood on the bucket,
they were the
same
height.
The same height.
Also, it was funny for them to be like, as two non-binary icons. And I'm like, well, that's not going to be true by the time this episode comes out.
Yep. Yep.
Anyway, Fontana really revealed something about herself in the last couple weeks.
Yes.
Speaking of, runway category is...
Reveal!
And first up on the runway is...
Gawdland.
Which is confusing to me because usually the runway goes in the order of the challenge.
Yeah.
So I was surprised that Gawdland was up first.
So she comes out first as this, like, traditional Thai puppet, and then it turns into a Thai dancer. So remember last week when Lovell said, I think she borrowed those fingers from Gawdland because they look like the Thai dancer.
Mhm.
I think he was correct.
It might have been. I will say
Because she has nothing on her hands.
well, you know why she couldn't have things in her
Because
hands?
she had gloves.
She didn't have gloves. The gloves are attached to the first look.
Yeah.
Because the gloves and the mask
Flipped
off
Yeah.
and are now under the garment, which was, I think, the
Genius.
coolest part of the reveal.
Oh, agreed.
It's one of those things where I liked this. It was not my favorite. I could kind of see where the reveals were coming from, and I didn't love it. It wasn't the most exciting reveal because it was literally flipping off a really covered up thing.
Wait, are you saying she flipped off RuPaul?
I mean, RuPaul's into that sort of thing. Who was it who RuPaul got really into flipping off?
Utica.
Okay. Anyway. But we then get into...
Yeah, because she famously did this to Utica.
It's not my favorite type of reveal, where you just flip one thing and it turns into another thing, but I like both looks independently, and I think the little bits of the mask and gloves actually being part of the garment that was flipped off really works for me.
Yeah, no, that was really cool, because like, when they showed it again, I was like, oh, I see it. But the first time it happened, I was like, where'd the mask go?
Well, then she turns around and you can see the mask very slightly under.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, you can, like, there's a single fraction of a frame where you can see the mask under, like, on top of the thing under the blue.
I will say that you got to be looking for it, because that, like, dancer dress is so stunning.
Oh, yeah.
And
the
makeup is stunning.
I wish she turned around, so I was just looking at her ass. No.
Fair.
Next up is
Zahira. She kind of does that, like, pink and blue thing from Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think that this is it's interesting because Zahira and Naomi do the exact same thing.
Mm-hmm.
They have pieces that they tear off before tearing off the corset and flipping a short skirt into a long skirt.
Mm-hmm.
And the way Naomi did it, I was breathtaking.
Yes.
And the way that Zahira did it, I was like, okay. And when she flipped down to the second skirt, I was like, the worst thing about this is, oh my God, this hem is terrible.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, you're gonna get read for filth, darling.
Yeah. I mean, it was a sexy look, but it was safe.
Yeah, and I also think that she had really specific hair and makeup
Mhm.
that did not serve the second look.
Yeah.
And I think that that is always a problem with reveals. Is you either have to have some way of changing the wig or make sure that the wig and makeup
Works with both.
Neutrally works with both.
Yeah.
Yes.
Next up, we have the only Naomi, who goes from white swan into black swan.
And this is, again, it's the same thing. She tears off the feathers at the front.
And there's blood.
And there's blood.
Rhinestone blood.
There's rhinestone blood. Then she tears off her corset to have a black corset under
and
it.
there's red lining in the corset.
Yeah. And then she the way that she frills out and then reveals the black swan under the white swan. It is the same mechanic as what Zahira just did.
Yeah.
But when Naomi did it, I was like, oh.
It was theater.
And then she pulled up the
black feathers
so that it was more encasing her face, and then turned around and the white swan feathers on her face hide the tubes that allow her to cry black blood without you noticing that they're there until they're there.
That's genius.
Because I was watching it again. I was like, that's why she has the feathers under her eyes. Is you think it's part of the look, but it's literally disguising the mechanic.
That's genius.
And you can see they're taped directly up to her wig line so that you can't see it at all. It's so fucking good. If this runway was the only reason she was safe this week, I would have been more okay with it, but they also tried to justify it in the performance.
Yeah.
Also.
Yes?
You were right, because Mariah said she was serving Apollonia in her train look. She mentions it. She's like, "Oh, with my cape look, I was serving Apollonia."
I knew it.
And she said it, and I went, "Motherfucker, David was right," and I still don't even know who that is.
I knew it.
Speaking of Mariah, next up is a coat.
Yep.
It's a coat.
I think she was gunning to be on Traitors next. Having never seen Traitors, just advertisements for it.
Hey. If Mariah does as well as every other drag queen has ever done on Traitors, she will still do well. She will still do better than she's ever done on Drag Race.
Touche.
Yeah, she reveals into a pretty cool underlook.
I liked the headpiece.
Yeah, I like the headpiece.
Yeah.
How is her headpiece?
No complaints.
But
I mean, clearly a lot of complaints because she's in the bottom, but
it's just a boring look.
Yep.
It just doesn't excite, and it doesn't help that it's not a reveal.
Yes.
Next up, This also isn't really a reveal.
But it's very cool, and it's very Westworld.
Yeah, so Fontana comes out and she has a like pinstripe
Gangster
suit,
suit.
and then she reveals out of it into a very feminized bodysuit that is also the skin under her. It's also like your organs.
Yeah.
It's like what's under your
Muscles,
skin.
yeah.
With like a bedazzled heart and a BBL.
Yeah.
The moment that I was like, oh, this is a reveal, I was not expecting the face to come off
Same.
and reveal her normal face.
Same.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
and I don't know why it got me so aggressively, but it looked like it was just part of the thing. So the fact that it could come off, I was very flat.
It's interesting because the look of this is the idea of this is very like it's funny because it's very we're all born naked and the rest is drag.
Yeah.
To an extent, but instead it's her being like
drag is on the inside. It's just on the inside that counts.
exactly.
But also there is something very powerful about a now trans woman.
Yes.
Going out and being like, under the boy stuff is all woman.
Yeah. And then last but not least, we have Kate. And this look is very cute.
This is perfect.
I love it.
She comes out, she's knitting. She pulls up her knitting to undo her skirt, her
Yes.
long dress into a shorter skirt by literally taking off the thread that reveals it.
Mhm.
Then when she gets to the end of the runway, she like clearly either hands something to someone or throws something down. We don't see what she does that causes the mechanic,
Yeah.
but she then walks back up the runway and her entire back of her dress
Unravels.
unravels, opens up, and she's now just in a knit bikini.
Yes.
It's funny because they try to make in the back, when they go back for Untucked, they comment that they call it the ugliest bikini they've ever seen.
Yeah.
And it's like, and they're like, so maybe, I think they kind of are trying to be like, so you got bad critiques too?
Yeah.
And Kate's like, no, that's the point.
Yeah.
If I wanted to have a good bikini, I could.
Yeah. But the point is that it's an ugly bikini.
It's an ugly bikini.
And also, I did love the little hat.
the knit hat on top.
I loved the bodysuit with all the tattoos.
The tattooed bodysuit was so cool, but I was
Yeah.
also like, yes, I can see the corset a little bit under it. This is still one of the, and it's like
still
not
fucking cool.
It's not. It's also not the best nude illusion I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But I don't know, something about watching it. I was like, this is one of the better nude illusions I've ever seen on Drag Race.
Yeah.
And I'm impressed by that, especially from Kate.
Yes. One thing that I have to say, just because it's a totally random story, but I still think it's the funniest thing. A friend of mine, their parents are from South Africa.
Mhm.
And apparently, like when they came to the US, the big thing was crocheted bikinis. But the way that they say crochet in South Africa is crotchet. So they went to a store to ask for crotchet bikinis. And they were like, you might need to go to Victoria's Secret. And they went to Victoria's Secret and they're like, do you have crotchet bikinis? And they thought they said crotchless. And they're like, we don't sell that here.
And here I was just thinking like crotchety bikinis.
No.
I was thinking bikinis that wanted you to get off their lawn.
I mean, if get off the lawn.
I hate it here. Anyway, by notes, they give Naomi much nicer notes than expected, and they
Yes.
give Mariah much harsher notes than expected.
Yes.
And they announced that there's no more Chippy Tea, and that they're being judged individually.
Yes. Which sucks.
Which sucks. It sucks more for Fontana, because Fontana should have had a win.
Agreed.
It should have been, you just give 2 badges
They
out.
should have just given them 2 badges.
Yeah.
That I thought was really unfair.
Yeah. But we go to the back, and Naomi's like, I can't tell if I'm high or low. And Mariah's like, no, absolutely not. You got the second best critiques of the night. How dare you? It's like, no, she got the third worst critiques of the night. Like, they liked her runway. She got the best critiques on runway.
Yeah.
But they did not like her performance.
Yeah.
They just gave her softer notes than they gave Zahira and you.
They gave her the softer side of Sears.
But, like, Mariah is definitely in her feelings. She's
Mhm.
never won a lip sync before.
Mhm.
But she's also never won a challenge before. So maybe she can pull this one out.
Yeah.
Also, do we appreciate the 2 times that Mariah has been in the bottom this season have been during challenges in which she botched a split?
Yes. Oh my god, I did not clock that.
She's had 2 different times where she's been in the bottom, and a primary note has been, getting up from a split is hard at your age, isn't it?
Yep. Anyways, we get to Untucked. Nothing really happens.
Yeah. We get back to the main stage, and Kate is declared the winner. Fontana and Naomi are called safe. And Gawdland, and then the bottom 2 are
Zahira
and
Mariah.
Paris Balenciaga. And the lip sync song is
Rasputin by Bonnie M.
I did not know. I think
You've
I've
never heard this
no,
song?
I've heard this song so many times. I've never listened to a word.
Rah, rah, Rasputin.
I did not know these were the words to this song until this lip sync.
It was funny because, like, I think it's a song from the 70s, but, like, this song was big when I was in college.
Well, you know what else was big? Rasputin's penis.
Ayo!
It's like mummified in a museum or something, right?
Yeah, I think it is.
It's
I don't know
like-
if it's mummified. I think it's like
Preserved.
yeah, but also
It's
apparently
pickled.
apparently so is Napoleon's.
Do they put them next to each other so Napoleon can feel bad about himself?
I mean, one thing about Napoleon is that also who knows, like there is rumor that he could have been gay because his big thing was that he had a manservant and he used to love sitting in the manservant's lap and caressing his hair. What?
Where are we? What is going on? David just wants to make more work for me. 'Cause he knows I have to edit out parts of this just to make it like a smaller episode. He knows what he's doing.
This is good. Listen, this is something you could pull out at a cocktail party. I gave everyone a fun anecdote for a cocktail party.
First, we're doing penis talk, and now cocktails. Anyway, this lip sync is.
It's cocktails and cocktails. Think about it.
Anyway, this lip sync is a mess.
Yes.
I will say, Zahira is winning this lip sync. And then she does the dip, and it's clear her wig almost falls off. She's pulled back on. But then,
it's funny because I thought that it was a reveal and she was pulling down like a mullet.
I thought so too, and then I was like, I don't think this was intentional. But maybe it was. Maybe it was a poorly done reveal.
Yeah.
But the real thing that I think makes Zahira lose this lip sync is how genuinely weird and uncomfortable it is when she starts dragging Mariah on the floor.
Yeah.
And then jumps on her and like hops.
Yeah.
I was like, this feels weird. And you can see RuPaul's face being like, why are you doing that?
Being like, drag is not a contact sport.
Drag is not a contact sport. Why are you like this? What's going on?
Yeah.
So, Mariah is told for the first time ever, Shantae, you actually, stay this time.
Yes. And we say Zabira to Zahira.
No, I think she's gay. What's the challenge next week?
I don't
Oh, it's makeover. And now, just in time for the Olympics to be over, make sure to tune in next week for the Olympic makeover. And make sure to comment, like, and subscribe if you like our content. And until next time.
Stay toxic. And remember, you can ring that bell. Ring that bell.